German grammar might seem tricky, but it's all about understanding how the pieces fit together. In this video, we will break down how the 4 German cases work with the nouns and the definite articles. Step by step, you learn how to recognize the roles of different sentence parts and how the cases bring it all together. Hello everyone and welcome to Sprechify, where we make learning German easy peasy. My name is Francesca and I've been teaching German for over 7 years. Let's dive into today's video. But if you're new to the cases, I have a separate video on the 4 German cases and their definite articles. You'll find the link in the description below. First things first. The 4 German cases are Nominativ, Genitiv, Dativ and Accusativ, and they show us the function of a noun or a pronoun. In this video, we will focus on the nouns and not on the pronouns. Let's start with the basics. How do we determine the parts of a sentence? In German, we always have a verb, a subject, maybe some objects, and additional information. The verb, or we also call it the predicate, always occupies the second position in a main clause. It's telling us what is happening and what the subject is doing. The subject is the doer of the action and it's usually placed at the beginning of the sentence in German. But it also can appear after the verb, especially in questions or if you want to start the sentence with something else. The subject will be always in the nominative case. For example, der Hund bellt. We will ask, who is barking? In German, wer bellt? The answer will be der Hund. The object can be in the dative case or in the accusative case. The dative case is an indirect object, usually for people or sometimes for animals. And the accusative case is for direct objects, and it's when people or things are directly affected by the action. But let's have a closer look. We will start with the nominative case. The nominative case is always the subject of the sentence. The nominative can be a person or a thing. The questions for the nominative case are wer or was, who or what. And the articles are der, die, das and die, masculine, feminine, neuter and plural. If you want to find out more about the definite articles and the cases, I have a separate video on this. You will find the link in the description. For example, die Mutter kocht. And we will ask, wer kocht? Who is cooking? The answer will be die Mutter. The nominative case also includes the Gleichsetzungsnominativ. It's when the subject and another noun are both in the nominative case. For example, der Freund ist Arzt. We can ask, wer ist Arzt? And the answer will be der Freund. But we can also ask, was ist der Freund? And the answer will be Arzt. This construction usually appears when we equate two nouns. And it usually happens with the verb to be, sein. Let's continue with the genitive case. The genitive shows possession or relationships and it answers to the question wessen, whose. The articles are der for feminine and plural and des for masculine and neuter. For example, das ist das Auto des Bruders. We will ask, wessen Auto ist das? Whose car is it? And the answer will be des Bruders. There are also some verbs that require the genitive, such as anklagen, verdächtigen, or beschuldigen. And we also have some prepositions that require the genitive. The good news is there are just a few, such as trotz, während, or wegen. So let's continue with the dative case. The dative is the indirect object of a sentence. It usually is a person or sometimes an animal. The dative receives or benefits from the action. It answers to the question wem, to whom, or for whom. And the articles are dem for masculine and neuter, der for feminine, and den for plural. For example, ich gebe dem Kind das Buch. I give the book to the child. We can ask, wem gebe ich das Buch? And the answer will be dem Kind. There are also some verbs that require the dative, such as glauben, danken, zeigen, helfen, antworten, or others. I would recommend learning these verbs. The dative applies mostly to people, but there are some exceptions, like the verb schaden, which can also apply to things. Like in the example, das Auto schadet der Umwelt. The car harms the environment. And there are also some prepositions that require the dative. The prepositions are like bei, nach, zu, mit, von, and some others. Last but not least, the accusative case. The accusative case is the direct object of the sentence, and it can be a person or a thing which receives the action. It answers to the questions wen or was, whom or what, and the articles are den, die, das, and die. Masculine, feminine, neutral, and plural. They're almost the same like the nominative case, except the masculine, which is den. For example, ich gebe dem Kind das Buch. I can ask, wen oder was gebe ich dem Kind? Whom or what do I give the child? The answer will be das Buch, the book. We have the sentence, das Mädchen liebt. The girl loves. Or another one is, der Junge kauft. The boy buys. Okay, let's analyze these sentences. We have a verb in each sentence. We have liebt and kauft. We also have a subject, das Mädchen and der Junge. But do you feel like there is something missing? Because I do. And when you feel that there is something missing, it's most likely it is the accusative or the direct object. We could say, das Mädchen liebt die Katze, for example. And we will ask, wen liebt das Mädchen? Who loves the girl? The answer will be die Katze. Or, der Junge kauft den Apfel. Again, we can ask, was kauft der Junge? Den Apfel. What is the boy buying, or what buys the boy? The apple. There are also some prepositions that require the accusative, such as ohne, für, durch, gegen, and others. Word order is in German flexible. You can move around the sentence parts as long as the verb stays on the second position in a main clause. Let's have a look at this sentence. We have the sentence, die Lehrerin erklärt den Schülern die Grammatik. The teacher explains to the students the grammar. Let's analyze this sentence. Let's start with the verb. Why with the verb? Because it shows us the action. In this sentence, the verb is erklärt. Now we can move on to the nominative, which is the subject of the sentence. And we will ask with the question wer. Wer erklärt? The answer will be die Lehrerin. Now we can move on to dative, which is the indirect object of the sentence, and we can ask with the question wem. Wem erklärt die Lehrerin? The answer will be den Schülern. To whom explains the teacher? To the students. And last but not least, we can look for the accusative, which is the direct object of the sentence, and we can ask with the questions wen or was. Wen oder was erklärt die Lehrerin den Schülern? The answer will be die Grammatik. We can move around the sentence parts, like I said before, and we can say the same thing like this sentence, but in another word order. Let's have a look. For example, den Schülern erklärt die Lehrerin die Grammatik. To the students, the teacher explains the grammar. I moved around the sentence parts, but it means the same. And the sentence parts are still the same. The subject is the subject, the dative is the dative, the accusative is the accusative, and so on. And we can say it in another way. For example, die Grammatik erklärt die Lehrerin den Schülern. The grammar is explained by the teacher to the students. Now, if you look at the English sentences, you will see that we can't move around sentence parts like in German, because the meaning depends on the word order. German is like playing Tetris. The verb is the long straight piece that locks everything into place, and the other words are like blocks that you can move around to fit the structure. In English, Tetris has rigid rules. The pieces fall straight down because of the fixed word order. In German, you can rotate the pieces around because of the flexible word order. Here is a tricky example. Der Lehrer zeigt die Schülerin das Buch, die Frau. The teacher shows the student the book, the woman. It doesn't sound very good, right? Okay, let's analyze this sentence step by step. Let's start with the verb, which here is zeigt. Then we can ask wer, which is the nominative, and we can ask wer zeigt, which is der Lehrer. Nothing is changing until now. Then we can ask wem, which is the dative. Wem zeigt der Lehrer? The answer will be die Schülerin, but feminine is not die in the dative case, is der. So the answer will be der Schülerin. Then we can ask wen or was, which is the accusative, and the question will be wen oder was zeigt der Lehrer der Schülerin? The answer will be das Buch. Is das the same in the accusative like in the nominative? Yes, it stays das Buch. And the last question could be wessen, which is the genitive. And the question would sound wessen Buch ist das? Which book is it? And we know that the answer will be die Frau, but die is not die in the genitive case, it's der. So we change die Frau to der Frau. And this is how you analyze a sentence step by step. The correct sentence will be in the end, der Lehrer zeigt der Schülerin das Buch der Frau. Here are some tips for analyzing German sentences. Start with the verb. Why? It shows us the action and look if it requires any specific case. Then look for the nouns. Where are they? Then what gender have these nouns. Then you can look for the prepositions. Maybe they require some specific cases. And in the end, determine the cases based on the role in a sentence, like can they be a subject, an indirect object, a direct object, or something else? And in the end, ask the questions. And that's it for now. I hope this video helps you understand how to use the German cases in a sentence. If you would like to know more about the definite articles and how to learn them in an easy and logical way, check out the previous video. I'll link it below. If you found this helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more German tips. Let me know in the comments what you would like to see next. Thank you for watching and bis zum nächsten Mal.